Hi, I'm Jen Wagman. Welcome to season two of Vetted. It's been a few months since season one ended, but there's been so much going on in the Gen Vets world. And I thought I would start this season by introducing you to one of the reasons why there's been a slight delay. And that is I have a partner. Her name is Kristen Ferullo, and I will give you a little bit of insight into how we met and why, and how this partnership has evolved in a few minutes. But first, I will let her say hello. Kristen?
Hi. Um, Thanks for having me and for being my partner in crime now, I guess. We've had a lot of fun over the last couple of months, really getting to know each other and digging into the why of how the why we want to do this work and why it's important and really the purpose that drives both of us. And that's been, I think, the most exciting for both of us to really understand that there are just people out there that they don't have to be a military spouse or a veteran or anybody else. They just really want to do what's right for the military and veteran communities. So it's been a wild ride for the last couple of months.
It has. That is a good way to put it. Actually, Kristen's organization has a couple different layers to it. Her and I get this wrong all the time. I get my own organization wrong all the time. So it's not a sign of disrespect. She knows that by this point. But the name of her organization is Partners in Purpose, and I will tell you the story. And then her parent organization is What's Your Why, which I love because, everybody should know why they're doing things. But
Mhm.
the first time we met was at the end of October last year at MOA's Total Force Plus conference. And it was sort of the end of a very, very long couple days, only because I had presented and I felt like I had been talking straight, and I had come from, I think, two other events back to back. I
Mhm.
had driven from upstate New York down, and honestly, I was just exhausted. And here comes this tiny little blonde as I'm packing up, and she says, "Hi, I didn't get a chance to talk to you." And I'm thinking, and you are not going to get the chance right now because I really just want to go to my hotel room. But she was really sweet, and she has like postcards and very pretty purple things. I remember pretty purple things
Mhm.
with dandelions and bookmarks, and I didn't have the heart to. Well, I never would be rude. I wouldn't, but I just remember thinking, doesn't she see me packing up? Like, why isn't she packing up too? Why doesn't everybody want to go home? Because like everybody else is packing up around. But for some reason, because I don't usually do this either, I want to go back to the room and sleep or watch TV because it's my alone time. I said to her, I actually heard the words coming out of my mouth. I don't know if I where they came from. Do you want to grab dinner and maybe we can talk? And so that's what happened. And some point during the dinner, I was telling a story that involved Oxford, Ohio.
Love and honor.
And that's what she said. And I looked at her and I said, "What did you just say?" And I might have used other words. And that's why we got along really, really, really well first, too. And she's like Miami of Ohio? And I said, "Yes, Miami of Ohio." And that's when she said love and honor. It turns out that we both went to Miami University in Oxford, Ohio at the same time.
Yep.
And we just didn't know each other. And not only that, but what did you do while you were at Miami?
I was an athletic trainer, so
For
I
but for who?
hockey.
Yes. She said hockey, and I was like, "Oh my god!" And like that was my sport, right?
Yep.
So I just was blown away by that. And then, I mean, from that point forward, we were pretty much inseparable.
Yep.
And I mean, there's a lot that goes with that love and honor thing. Is for real.
It is.
A Miami alum, and that's it. I'm sure a lot of people feel that way about their school, but it's something special. So we started talking about our organizations and our missions and how we felt about things. And our two organizations on the surface have nothing in common. But as we have evolved, and I'll let her talk about hers in a second, as we've evolved over the months, the underlying,
Mhm.
pretty darn close to what we think and why, what's our why, um, And so that's where things sort of got interesting a couple months ago for us, after the Student Veterans of America NatCon, where we started traveling a lot together and doing things, and opportunities have presented themselves.
So, Partners in Purpose came from the just about 12-year career I had as a school liaison, which I loved. And for those out there that don't use your resource of a school liaison at your base, please do. They're really an amazing group. But listening to all of the needs of military families, the things that they go through, the difficulties that they have, just organizing information and gathering information for moving all the time,
Mhm.
it's very real, and they shouldn't have to work that hard. So the first project that we completed was the Joint Services Scholarship Database. Um, as my kids hit that age, and just in general, what I was doing for work with education, I really was trying to solve the need for looking for scholarships. And so it takes a lot of clicks on these scholarships to see if you even qualify to apply, especially for military specific. And so the database was able to be put together that it can be searched and sorted using just the information that that the person using the database needs. So there's over 1,000 scholarships in there. Half of them have a dollar amount that's mentioned in them, and that is over $5.5 million.
So, what type of criteria do you use when you're searching?
So by branch, by the service member's status, um, um, by their relation to the service member, um, by the state if they want. They can also do, but when they're due, when they open and when they close,
Mhm.
and then some of them are unspecified. So it covers active duty, um, National Guard. It covers dependents, descendants, family members, spouses, you name it. The self is one. If
Okay.
you are the veteran and you are applying for scholarships yourself, so everybody, there's information in there for everybody. It's really just a matter of plug and play.
How did you collect the information?
A lot of research.
Okay.
There's about 500 or 600 hours into this database in
Okay.
terms of research time, and that is we used, I think, the top 40 scholarship search engines. We used all of the military specific scholarships that are in there. Um, every website you could think of to look for a scholarship. Most of them are buried and hidden.
Mhm.
And the number of scholarships that are still grossly under applied for or not applied for at all is mind boggling to me. So there's a lot of money being left on the table. And that's what I'm hoping to decrease. I had one student loan for my second master's, and what I borrowed and what I would have had to pay off with compounded interest and all of that, I don't know how these families are ever going to get out of this debt. I really don't. So the more opportunities that we can present for them to obtain scholarships, the better off they'll be.
That's amazing. Well, do you verify that they're still active? How do you do that?
Yes. So the database gets scrubbed at least once a year. We aim for twice. This year we haven't gotten to its initial. It's getting scrubbed this summer
Okay.
again, and so what we'll do is we'll update any of the dates. I've been working on it, uh, as we go along.
Mhm.
But there's also more scholarships that have come out and more that we need to add, so the numbers will continue to increase. One of the groups that I did forget to mention is ROTC. We also have a lot of scholarships for ROTC in there as
Wow.
well. And so we want them to be able to get through college without all that debt.
And how are you getting the word out about this? Do you contact schools? Do you
It's
get to?
been very organic so
Okay.
far. We have not had the bandwidth to advertise the way we need to, but the database is getting a ton of traction anyway, just word of mouth. Other organizations have been posting it to their sites, just really getting it out there. Social media has been a good way to get it out. I did just recently resign my position as a school liaison, a very hard decision to make, but it's so that I can focus on creating more and more resources for our families.
Well, you've received a lot of positive feedback
Yes.
everywhere I've been with you. One of the things that, we've done together is go and talk to different people and the
Hmm.
different conferences we've been at. And I think that what makes us so enthusiastic and hopeful about our future together is that the underlying theme is that not everybody is the same.
Nope.
You can't treat everybody the same,
Mm-mm.
and they shouldn't have to. And then when I say they, I'm talking about the military and the veteran communities should not have to go out to seek all of the information, but we should be as helpful as we can in
Hmm.
meeting them where they are,
Right.
and being as cohesive in providing the information from one spot and wherever that is, whether that's in each individual state, and developing models that
Hmm.
allows that to happen in
Right.
whatever, um, I'll say genre for lack of a better word, because we're in this particular instance, we'd be talking about two different things, but developing models that in each state would be, you know, easy for people to access, whether it's within an hour or hour and a half,
Hmm.
or in this case, you're virtual, but there are
Right.
others that will be different. So, what has been your biggest obstacle in creating this and doing this?
I hurdled them already. My bigger obstacles was a way to get the information out there
Mhm.
for families. And we've hurdled that now. The This year has been very exciting in terms of recreating the database in a different format, and
Mhm.
so it's going to go through another series of upgrades over the summer just to make sure that as you build something, as you know, like it version 1, version 2, version 3, there's always tweaks that you need to make in order to make it as efficient as possible. And I always seek feedback.
Mhm.
So it's the user experience that's important to me. So if it's not user friendly, then they're not going to use it.
Well,
So learning what's needed to make it as effective as possible.
you say you've hurdled it, but we still need to get you to get
Funded.
funded, right? And and
Yes.
and and funded in terms of like the marketing of it, the
Mhm.
getting it out there. So,
Right. Currently it's self-funded
Mhm.
because I believe in it.
Of
I
course,
I
others believe in it too. You have a lot of people who are interested in. It's
yes.
just a question of what's the best thing for you, right? And
Mhm.
what's the best bit for your vision of it. And I admire the way you've handled it, obviously.
Thank you.
So you're welcome. You're welcome. It's one of the few compliments I give to you. Every once in a while, I gotta throw you one, right?
Thank you.
Yeah,
I'll take it.
you're okay. All right. So, what has been the best experience in this world of serving veterans and military families? Because this isn't. You're right. You didn't come from
Mhm.
this world. This is something that you sort of entered in later. You said 12 years you've been in this.
Yes.
Okay. So, what drove you to do this? Besides what you said was that you don't know how every family.
Right.
What there has to be something more. What's more?
I was a special educator prior to this.
Okay.
And that's because I have a child that has learning disabilities. And this was my opportunity when I was presented to be a school liaison to use that skill and other education skills to support military families. They make a sacrifice that I did not make. I have chosen not to make.
Mhm.
And I know that my kids and I sleep very safely in our beds under that sacrifice every day,
Mhm.
and I respect that. And so therefore, if this is the smallest thing that I can do to care for the family in a certain way while that service member is serving, and the family serves too, like let's be really real here,
Mhm.
then that's me hopefully doing a small part to ease the burden. um, and so that's why I do it. The best thing that happens for me is knowing that I make a difference. I If every day I know for one family, just one family, that they found a scholarship, they got a question answered, someone listened to them and actually heard them and has provided them some resources. If I can do that, that's a success. That my day is good. Like I did the thing. So that's what I aim to do. And likewise for the leaders, for military leadership, for the legislative pieces, bringing that awareness to what the needs are. If I can continue to push those things forward in a way that actually makes sense, but honors the need of the military family, the veteran, the service member, then I've had a good day. So,
What's the biggest thing that surprised you?
ooh, the numbers, the data, the data is still shocking me on a daily basis.
The data about what?
The data about um, the number of military, the number of veterans, the age of our veterans,
Mhm.
the number that are food insecure, the number that are handling and not handling mental health issues. Then there's so many numbers, and
That's what's created a symbiotic relationship between the two of us because we've decided, okay, here we can work together and do these a lot of different things together because there's so many of these numbers that are not acceptable,
no,
right? That's what,
no,
yeah,
they're
okay.
they are not. The things that keep me up at night.
Mhm.
There are so many good things going on in this world. There are so many incredible organizations that are out there to support our families, our community, and there's so many great legislative things happening. Even so incredibly well intentioned,
Right.
and they're out there. But you can't find them.
Mm.
Our families are they don't know, not all, but many
Mhm.
don't know where to even look to find the supports that they need because there's so much. There's just this labyrinth, this endless labyrinth, and it becomes exhausting to just do the searches for it.
That's a great way to put it, the labyrinth.
And so I that keeps me up at night
Mhm.
to know that some of these things that have already been handled, so to speak,
Mhm.
they don't know how to access the things that help them
Handled
effect.
and handled well, like handled by, like sometimes handled really well. Like
Absolutely.
VA has done a really good job in a lot of
100%.
different ways. And I said from the beginning, we need to amplify this message. We need to let them know that, hey, this is there for you. And some of it's life changing and life saving, but they don't trust you because you haven't really come through on another area that's a really big deal. Hey, benefits.
Right.
Um, it's a simple thing. You got to understand the messaging part here, but that's where we need to change the narrative.
It's all about
But
the narrative.
but you're right. They don't know. It's a labyrinth. There's all of these different things. There's, as I've said a million times for
Mhm.
the people who listen to me, 45,000 nonprofits plus a lot of them, many of them are well-meaning, really well,
Absolutely.
great ideas that are out there. Even if there are multiple that do the same thing, if there are different geographic locations,
Mhm.
if people don't know where they are or they
Right.
can't reach them, they can't access them, whatever the case is, if we're not putting them in to meaningful use or into a
Mhm.
place where they can be accessed in a meaningful way, then what are we doing?
Well, take a military family that moves. Okay. Their education. So obviously that's my where my heart is. They've moved to an area, they're moving to an area. Sometimes they're on hurry up orders. Sometimes they're on orders that they think they're going someplace and they end up someplace else. I mean, all of the things happen. They get someplace and they don't have housing. Or they get there and they have housing, but then their household goods aren't getting there for another month.
Right.
There's so many complications that the average person doesn't know about their experience. And so I've worked for the last 12 years to try to bring some of that to light, as do really all the other school liaisons. That's what we focus on. But you're worried now about where you're going to live, your stuff getting there, and then where your children are going to school and their transition and all of these other, are there special, if they have special education, are their needs going to be met? Is this going to impact their graduation? What does this mean in their schedule? new friends, new this, new that. And the average military child, pre-K through um, 12, has 6 to 9 different educational experiences, 6 to 9 moves. I have moved kids through their 12th, 13th move,
Wow.
halfway through their senior year, still making sure they are going to graduate on time. I mean, that's what the power of the program that we can do is really support those families. They don't Many of them even know that the military interstate compact is there to help support them. So there's
Why
just
don't you talk about that? Because I'm sure a lot of people don't know what that is.
the Military Interstate Compact Children's Commission, MIC3, is the law in 50 states that seeks to level the playing field for highly transient military students during their transition process. So that's my elevator speech on that one. I had the joy and the honor of representing 3 separate states in my tenure. Maine, New Hampshire, and Vermont.
Hmm.
Um, but there are all different parts of it that are there to help ensure that military children have um, the ability to go from one place to another effectively.
Okay.
And again, your school liaison's the subject matter expert for that, to really try to help use that in the correct way for families. Um, and great work being done in every direction with
So
them.
a lot of these things, the average civilian, average people don't even know, are they can't even wrap their head around. And nor, I mean, that's not
Who would
a
they?
blame. Why would they? But you don't think about how many times that move happens. You don't think about how it might impact a graduation time
Mhm.
or anything like that. And so one of the things that we talk about is how important it is for community to get involved in these families
Mhm.
and in families that are transitioning from active duty and becoming veterans and into the issues that those families have been grappling with and
Mhm.
dealing with, and they need to understand what their experience is, what it has been, and why things have been difficult. They're not just getting out from a stint in and
Right.
these kids have, yeah, they've been moving around and they've
Mhm.
seen the world or they've seen the country. These are really real things, and
Very
they're
real.
kind of, you know my best friend growing up was someone whose father was in the Marine Corps, and she bounced around back and forth from the country. Those are really real sort of things that stuck with her.
Mhm.
And she was she is a really smart woman. She transitioned very well, but it wasn't easy for her ever
No.
to leave a set of friends
Mhm.
and come from one place to another. She was resilient. Has used those skills in her adult life, but it's something that she's taken with her,
Right.
and it just never easy. And so I think that for the community at large, that we're asking to take notice of the post-traumatic growth issues, the suicide prevention issues, and make no mistake, that's part of what you and
Mhm.
I are
Yeah.
asking in what we're going to be doing and what we're going to be talking about with our organizations. This is one of those big things,
Mhm.
is the education piece, starting with the something simple like the scholarship database, and
Right.
something simple as listening to what you've done, what your experience has
Mhm.
been. You need to understand that there's so much more beginning at that base level with these families, and what their kids have been through.
Right.
And April is the month of the military child.
My favorite month.
You are going to This is going to probably air after you do it, but you are going tomorrow to be with the
Military Child World Expo.
right. And so this is a really important month.
Yes.
Wearing purple is a big
Mhm.
deal. The way the state of Maryland celebrates, I'm not from Maryland, I'm from Virginia, but I am so proud of the way Maryland operates and handles its military and veteran families. I think that it always has
Mhm.
been, where we try and take care of.
Right.
And I'll be proud to do what Jen Betts is going to be doing.
One of the things that I think that, and I've said it over and over again, I think a lot of times the families just want to be heard.
Absolutely.
and they want someone to listen.
Veterans.
And veterans, there's stories that they have, and it's not about it. It's not about listening to respond. It's listening to be present for their experience, and that's what we need more of. And that's what I'm hoping, that the number of times that I've been present for their narrative, for the things that have been important to them, my hope is that that's what I can turn into change. That's what's hard. That's what I want to be able to do for them, and build for them, so that they feel that at some point they were heard, and how challenging it is.
And that's, I've said that for the last 2 years. I understand a lot, whether it's the organizations, whether it's the state, federal, local government. You may hear veterans, but are you listening to what they're asking? Are you listening to what they say?
Hmm.
Because there's a lot of stuff that's out there, that's being offered, the program. That's what you think they need.
Hmm.
That's what you're prescribing. Is that what they're asking for?
Right.
Is that what they're saying they need? Because not everybody is the same. Not all healing is the same.
Nope.
Not everyone is going to be in the same place at the same time with the same needs. And they don't all have things that are going on at the same time. We have to adjust to them,
Right.
and to that. And until we sort of recognize all of those moving pieces,
Hmm.
and that we've got to deal with them all,
Hmm.
we're not going to see numbers, or the big catchphrase right now, the needle moving at all. And so that's
It's
the moving target.
it is a moving target, but you have to start with what's right in front of you, which are the people
That's
and the stories and
yes.
the feelings. And when I talk about my why, and that's what my what's your why is, something I've it's been my whole, I mean, since I was 16, 17 years old. That's kind of every day I get up and, why am I doing what I'm doing? I have to believe in it. It has to be something that speaks to my
Mhm.
heart. I've unfortunately never chosen a career path that's going to make me a whole lot of money, but it does bring me a whole lot of joy.
Mhm.
And it's all about how you measure success.
Well, part of what the new thing that we've created that I can never get right, and is
Partnering with purpose.
partnering with purpose. And that's what Kristen and Jen are doing, is
Mhm.
partnering with purpose. And she came up with this really cool, what do you call it? It's a semicolon. It's a logo. That's what
Logo.
it is.
It's a continuation of the story. So it's a continuation of the thought that started, and that there's more to it. It's used oftentimes in suicide prevention and awareness, that that person's story continues. But for us, we think that, for Jen and I, and our use of it, it's that the story continues from when they start service to when they're a veteran, and all of the parts in between, when they start, um, when they're a military spouse, and then they're a retired military spouse or a veteran spouse. There's so many things that continue,
Mhm.
and honoring that pause, and what's next. So, and that's what we're aiming to do, so in every way possible. And I think that it's time to start elevating the simple message that we need to do more, but the more that we need is just, it's down and dirty hard work, and it's not glamorous, and it's not sexy. It's just hard work, but that's what they deserve.
It's a lot of hours.
It's a lot of hours.
It's a
It's a
lot.
lot of hours, but it's worth it.
It is worth it. It
It's
is
worth
worth
it.
it. It's funny. My kids will go to bed, and I'm in front of my computer, and they come down in the morning, and I'm in front of my computer. I can't tell you how many times they say, do you ever, like, actually sleep? Do you
Mhm.
go to sleep? This is what I love to do. I
Yep.
don't feel like it is a job. If I did, I couldn't possibly be doing it. But
Right.
um but yeah, no, it is, but it is worth it. It's worth it since I met you even more.
Of
Um,
course it is.
and I'm gonna show you though, for those who can see. I don't know if it's gonna be backwards, but it's a dandelion on top of the
American.
American flag. American flag. Yes, and it's kind of the colors from Gen Vets and the dandelion. Tell them what the dandelion means.
Military children, military families, bloom where planted. So just like a dandelion, kind of, they're everywhere, and they grow roots and they do the thing. I don't even know how
See,
half the time.
I didn't even like dandelions until she explained that to me. Now
Yep.
I have to like dandelions.
Yep.
I mean,
You do.
yeah. So, but the best part about all of this,
To say it gently,
yes,
I think that there's a lot of talk about different things that we need to fix.
yeah,
And, you know, it doesn't, no one's perfect. So no one's saying that. Um, but I refuse to be a person who keeps their mouth shut about the change that really needs to happen, because it's time to make meaningful change. It's time to dig in to the work that needs to be done and to push it forward. So that's what the back of the shirt says. I refuse to be a person who keeps their mouth shut. I
see,
don't think anybody that knows me is like, oh, she finally put it on a t-shirt. Great. I don't know
see,
when she ever kept her mouth shut.
and
So
they're gonna all think that I picked out a partner who made a T-shirt that said that just for me, because what she said is like 100% serious and right, and I love it. I love it so much. I'm gonna wear the T-shirt everywhere, but I, they're just gonna laugh at me.
who cares? Laugh away while we do the work.
It's true,
So
but I do love the T-shirt because it's 100% me.
yes, me too. But yeah, I think there's a lot of things on the horizon. I think that as time unfolds, we'll be able to tell everybody a little bit more about what's going on and what we plan to do. But stay tuned. And for
Yeah.
those of you looking for scholarships, people have this belief that they hit May and there's no more scholarships available. There are. So keep your eyes open, keep looking, and take advantage so that you're not paying so much money for your education.
And this one here has a wide breadth of knowledge, depth of knowledge on a lot of different things. If anyone has questions that they'd like to send in, please do, and we can bring her back to talk about a variety of different things when it comes to education within the system. I, I'd say you'd be surprised what she knows. I'm constantly surprised. I picked a very, very smart partner to go into business with here. At least to go along the journey with, if nothing else. You're a good friend, good partner, and I'm
Agreed.
really looking forward to everything that we have in store. And actually, this is great for, I think, the entire community because I didn't shut my mouth on my own. But the two of us together,
Good luck.
good luck. That's it. That's right. Well, looking forward to everything together and
Thanks.
always forward.
Always forward.